If you were a human living 30,000 years ago, hearing a wolf howl at night meant immediate danger. You were small, slow, and surrounded by predators equipped with massive jaws, terrifying endurance, and eyes that worked far better in the dark than yours ever could. Today, there are 900 million dogs on Earth. They sleep in our beds, guard our homes, and wear birthday hats next to cakes. Looking at this contrast, it's easy to assume humans intentionally engineered the dog as a tool, much like we invented the wheel or the plow. But no human tribe ever sat down to invent a pet. Instead, wolves began domesticating themselves through a series of unintended consequences before humans even realized what was happening. The most successful interspecies partnership in our history was born from a coincidence beside a campfire. During the Ice Age, life for hunter-gatherers was brutal. Small bands of people moved constantly across enormous landscapes, where most hunts failed, and a single broken leg could mean death. But human camps were also a source of high-calorie waste. Scraps of skin, bone, and partially eaten carcasses were left behind, turning a human settlement into a moving pile of free calories for any local wolf pack willing to get close. Most wolves stayed in the shadows. The aggressive ones were speared by terrified humans, and the most fearful stayed too far away to scavenge. But the boldest individuals, those naturally born with less aggression, crept closer. Over generations, these calmer wolves survived better than their wilder counterparts. Rather than risking injury hunting dangerous prey, they thrived by simply following humans and eating what was left behind. Proximity to human waste created an evolutionary filter, rewarding friendliness with easy calories, and beginning a slow transformation of the wolf's survival strategy. As temperaments calmed over generations, the wolf's physical anatomy began to change as well. Traits like shorter snouts, developing patchy fur, and ears that lost their rigidity were the visible markers of this shift. To understand how a change in personality could alter a skeleton, Soviet geneticist Dmitry Belyaev began an experiment in 1959 using wild foxes in Siberia. Belyaev didn't train the foxes or teach them tricks. He used a strict methodology. Every generation, he selected and bred only the individuals that showed the least aggression toward humans. Within a few decades, his tame foxes began to look like dogs. This domestication syndrome shows that selecting for a calm personality automatically triggers a cascade of physical changes, from curled tails to shorter jaws. Scientists observe this same transformation across many species. When fear and aggression are bred out, softer faces and floppier ears follow automatically. These less terrifying proto-dogs quickly provided humans with a living alarm system. They could hear and smell predators from huge distances, alerting the camp to bears or strangers long before a human could notice. This practical utility created a feedback loop, locking both species into a survival pact that accelerated over thousands of years. Domestication eventually bypassed physical traits and began altering the internal biology and brain chemistry of both species. When humans and dogs look into each other's eyes, both species release oxytocin. This is the same hormone that facilitates the deep bond between parents and their children. Over time, dogs evolved specific facial expressions that humans instinctively respond to. The puppy dog eyes that trigger our empathy are the result of facial muscles that wolves simply do not have. However, this connection has a cost. Recent intentional human meddling has led to severe health issues, like the compressed faces of pugs that struggle to breathe, or the spinal problems common in dachshunds. By hacking human neurochemistry, dogs turned a primitive relationship of convenience into an unbreakable emotional dependency. The depth of this attachment is visible in the archaeological record. In Germany, researchers discovered a grave from roughly 14,000 years ago containing a man, a woman, and a dog buried carefully beside them. Analysis showed the dog had survived a severe illness as a puppy, meaning these Ice Age humans spent precious time and food nursing it back to health. This was no longer just a useful tool, it was a companion. Despite this bond, ancient wild instincts still surface. When a dog circles before lying down or howls at the moon, it is repeating behaviors that flattened the brass for its wolf ancestors thousands of years ago. No master plan created this relationship. It began with scraps beside a fire and cautious animals creeping closer in the dark. Tonight, your best friend will likely sleep near you, unaware that they still carry the shadow of an Ice Age predator, reshaped by the power of shared survival.